NHL players who refused to play for their own team. Back in 2013, the Tampa Bay Lightning used the 3rd overall pick in the NHL draft to select Jonathan Drouin, a young star who had just scored 41 goals and 105 points in only 49 games for the Halifax Mooseheads. So many believed he would be an instant offensive force in the NHL, but just a few years later, Drouin would make a decision that stunned the hockey world. You see, Drouin's time in Tampa Bay was nothing like he expected. While other top picks from his draft class quickly earned big roles, Drouin struggled to get consistent ice time under coach John Cooper, and he was often scratched from the lineup or given smaller roles, even during the Lightning's run to the 2015 Stanley Cup Final. But behind the scenes, his frustration was building into something much bigger. The thing is, in November of 2015, Drouin's agent Alan Walsh quietly asked the team to trade him. Tampa Bay kept this a secret, but just 2 months later, in January of 2016, the Lightning sent Drouin down to their AHL affiliate, the Syracuse Crunch, for what they called a conditioning assignment. But for Drouin, this was the breaking point. As it turns out, on January 3rd, 2016, Walsh went public with the trade request, saying it was in everyone's best interest for Drouin to move on. And just weeks later, on January 20th, Drouin refused to play in a scheduled AHL game, claiming the Lightning had told him a trade was close and he didn't want to risk injury, while Tampa Bay responded by suspending him indefinitely without pay. But the shocking part is what Drouin was willing to do to get his way. What I mean is that Drouin sat out for nearly 2 months, training away from the team while his standoff with management dragged on. Other NHL executives warned Lightning GM Steve Yzerman not to give in, fearing this would set a dangerous precedent for young players. But after all the drama, the ending was not what anyone expected. When the trade deadline passed without a deal, Drouin decided to return in March 2016, repairing his relationship with Cooper over breakfast and becoming a key playoff performer with 14 points. Then, his trade demand was finally granted the following year when Tampa sent him to his hometown Montreal Canadiens in exchange for Mikhail Sergachev.